I felt the end coming, and I was ready. Against my better judgment, I freed Wesker, and unsurprisingly, we were ambushed by moneybags. But I was done. With him, with all of it. Wesker and I laid it on him immediately. Wesker either wanted revenge for capture or more than likely needed moneybags out of the way. But I didn't have time or reinforcements to care. I didn't wait to hear his master plan. I didn't care. It's all the same story. Man with ambition and money uses both to manipulate people into thinking he spoke for them, and that they were on the same wavelength, most likely using religion as a uniting facade. But behind the scenes, he and a small group of people or sponsors funded experiments that, when perfected, would only benefit them at the cost of their followers, who were already whipped into either recruiting more people to the cause or eliminating them. Then, while the main guys plotted their big goals, each one of them had their own individual takeover plan, thinking they were using the others for their own dastardly deed. If anything, Sephora was the only one that got even slightly close to overtaking moneybags and enacting their plan first. With their derivative of the parasite, the Karenite, and their dominion over the cosmetic market, an ever-increasing industry, they had the money and the influence to try and break free. That was until I showed up. I'm fully aware at this point that the American government was a huge backer of Sephora and moneybags, playing both sides so that they win no matter what, and that I was a scapegoat turned liberator, and now I was covering it all up by fighting them still. But it was all the same to me, because the way I see it, there were only two sides, the ones behind my gun and the ones in front. And right now, my sights were on moneybags, because he was the final step, and I was tired of walking. The fight contained too many of three things: handgun ammo, novistadors, and religious whining, making Moneybags here the most one-note villain, despite his original counterpart, and contributing to the least fun final boss in the series. Moneybags had been damaged severely when I told him that coveting worldly possessions was the complete opposite of his religious beliefs, making him and his millions of followers both hypocrites and heretics, whose greed, hatred, and oppression sullied the entire purpose of the religion. Fearing damnation, and more importantly, facing his own mistakes like an adult, he curled up into a ball, trying to hide from the outside world until it blew over. Hey, maybe he wanted to compare himself to Jesus by coming back, just like a zealot would do for themselves or a political leader.
Still, I need to cut this date short. It's not me. It's you.
What was less fun was getting my ass saved by Wesker, but I guess he owed me, as he sent down a final weapon for me to use and save the world. Unfortunately, that weapon Wesker gave me was not a hand cannon. So as soon as I grabbed it, my whole existence crashed to desktop. Thus begins Crash Fix 3. I was making sure this man was not passing go, by making sure he passed away. The only way to win was to give myself the rocket launcher with the item adder and fire it, since nothing else succeeded in finishing the fight. I took aim and broke through. It taught me a valuable lesson. The only way to deal with ignorance and hatred is with a rocket launcher. He was fully exposed in 4K, so I got up close and personal, proving to him that a man penetrating another man would result in him going to hell. Moneybags had no choice but to crumble under the weight of crimes he could in no way excuse, proving that no matter how big your empire is, one man could end it all in an instant. Disney, Nintendo, Aniplex, Microsoft, IKEA, Sephora, all were now things of the past because they failed to realize that treating your customers like they're expendable will one day expend them. And in return, you'll fall too. I'm knocked away by Moneybags as he falls, and the staff shatters, a vial popping out that was stored inside. This must be the amber Hada wanted. It was proof I needed. From what I gathered, it was the only sample of the final version of the parasite Moneybags wanted to embed into the world leaders, both allied and non. He would control them, even if they were on his side. Guess he learned a lesson after Sephora's betrayal. Ironically, I believe it was my fight with Sephora that gave me the resilience to resist becoming one of the 1%. I scrambled to pick up the vial, until the new ally I had showed his true colors quickly. Albert Wesker, the man behind the scenes. Hada had given him the experimental makeup,
What are you doing?
and now he had taken the amber for himself.
Louis and I had an arrangement.
And her loyalty was rewarded with her
Don't
end,
worry, I'll
without
take
any
care of it.
protection from her boss. He offered me a ride, and I kindly teased a DLC that was paid and didn't come out free with the game.
I think we both know this is where we go our separate ways.
I see.
Wesker strutted off and left as zesty as possible.
Would you like to see it? Come with me.
Come with me. Come with me.
I'm sorry for my lack of manners, but I'm not used to escorting men.
But I'm not used to escorting men.
Escorting men. Chris? Stop it.
Tossing me a key in the process. He said I could use it, since Hada wouldn't need it anymore.
Cute.
Until next time, Leon.
As angry as I was,
Who knows?
Ashley caught up to me and told me blonde bitches can't be trusted, and to take it from her.
It's gonna what?
To prove this, the island started to crumble around us, blowing up from the inside, something I'm sure was Wesker's doing to cover up everything he couldn't control. There was no time to do anything but run, and the countdown to the end began. I grabbed Ashley and started to make our escape. Some apologists and podcasters got in our way, but without their god to praise on the real fake news channel, all 35 of them crumbled as easily as they think a liberal would. This was it. This was finally it. A straight shot to the end, and I reached a speedboat. Somehow the same one I used to escape the last island that went up in flames behind us. Hada must have recovered it when I landed at the village for recovery. Which means she was keeping an eye on me the whole time. I wish she came to me for help. But she couldn't do it without compromising us both. I took the jet ski, told Ashley to hang on, but she held on tight and secure without question. Her grip was much firmer and more confident than last time, and I knew that if we could escape this time, it would be together. Our ride was almost perfectly smooth until I rammed into a rock for shits and giggles, and also proving that nothing could take Ashley from me this time if that didn't make her fall off. I never felt more confident as we raced into the sunlight, a new dawn approaching for us all. We landed perfectly, and the island went up behind us. The sun rose, and it was finally over. The knowledge of these events carried by very few,
Insane.
and only two who would actually try to tell the world. Ashley presented the idea that we'd become partners in justice, with me acting as her bodyguard as she tries to take over Sephora's management. I told her I didn't think she needed a bodyguard anymore. She was a changed person who could care for herself. But I would always make sure she got to where she wanted to safely.
Mission accomplished, right?
After all this time, we were finally able to ride into the sunset together. And with the world soon to be in an uproar over the plots to take it over under their noses,
You know,
we'd have to quell their anger,
word with my dad. Have you
assuming they didn't just post about it for a week without actually helping anyone, and then forgetting about a literal world-ending threat before moving on to the next thing to complain about. But maybe that would be a better result.
Come on. Let's go home.
With Ashley attempting her claim on Sephora, she could potentially create the serums her family only dreamed of, and find a way to reverse the scars she was given during this tragedy. But no matter how much her body changed, she would only get stronger and stronger. And I think maybe I would stay right by her side so I could see the carnage she causes for any straggling allies of Sephora's original scheme. I guess I'm not retiring just yet. So, can you beat Remake 4 with only the handcannon? Absolutely. But I wouldn't. Not without mods, at least, as crafting ammo is your only option without anything being infinite. It might have been obvious, but I don't like this game. Is it fun? Yeah. But it doesn't feel like Resident Evil 4. It's a really competent game. But being based off one of the greatest games of all time, it just feels flat. The only character that benefits from the remake, I think, is Salazar, as his psychopathic tendencies and backstory are just so out in the open. And it makes me feel like I'm actually in someone else's world. But every villain in this game shows up for such little screen time before their deaths that I feel absolutely nothing but disdain and disappointment. They're like the last bowling pin that you grazed but didn't knock over. They somehow overstay their welcome, despite barely having any time to speak at all. The lack of Saddler throughout this game, other than being the big bad that goes, "Hey look, a good guy, get him," is honestly the worst offender, and it made scripting such an important character almost impossible, to me. Playing this game is fun when you can mod it to have more enemies and edit gun stats, both of which I'll be doing in the future. Leon can't be everywhere at once, after all. And there are always more things going on below the surface.
Condor 1? Roost to Condor 1, do you read me? Come in! I said come in! Is this thing even on? Leon!
In another place. Nunnigan had spent her time trying to call Leon, since she got cut off, and somehow landed on a new frequency. Wesker's. To taunt her, he revealed his obtaining of the amber, which ironically looks like a turd in a vial. Nunnigan knew Wesker had big plans for it, and now the means to achieve it. She asked Wesker what his goals were, and he indulged her, or rather teased her. Nunnigan was appalled and afraid. She had no idea what Leon's fate was, which means the only thing she could do was go after all of them herself.
We're talking millions of casualties.
One thing was for certain.
Billions.
The world was going to be very different, engulfed in potential war and economic downfalls. But no matter who was involved, one thing was certain. One thing was consistent. War. War never changes.